Hello and welcome to today's Dalal Street Week Ahead video. Now in today's video we'll take a look at three stocks: Maruti, Tata Motors and Kotak Mahindra Bank. Apart from that, we'll take a look at the news that will be affecting our markets this week and the general sentiment which I believe will be there going ahead. Now coming to the news, I believe the main news which will affect us on Monday's trading session, Tuesday's trading session and Wednesday's trading session is the RBI governor's stance which he took on Friday. Why I say that is, if we look at the whole situation technically, he cut the CRR rate for the banks, but this means that the banks can loan out more money. But now the big issue comes, the GDP numbers which were released last week were not good. There was a drop. Now due to that drop, him not acknowledging it and deciding to postpone the rate cuts again is basically, it's a strangle. It's just going to make the GDP numbers worse. Inflation, I don't think is going to really come under his control, even by the next meeting. I'm quite sure about that. And that's just going to make the situation worse. And plus, if we look at most of the economies in the world, whether we look at Asia, whether we look at Africa, whether we look at Europe, whether we look at North America, even South America, most economies have had at least 2 rate cuts. So, but here India has lagged behind because of the governor's blinders and not had even one. So that will have a knock-on effect on the economy. So now how do I expect indexes to perform more based on that? Now according to me, the BANKNIFTY celebrated Friday's move because the banks have been given more money basically. They can create more money from their deposit book. So, they can loan more money. So I think that euphoria may last on Monday and max part of Tuesday, after which the reality will set in that this was not a positive meeting, as the main thing which had to be fixed was not fixed, and then the sentiment, I believe, will be taking a turn which will not be that good. Plus also this Thursday, December 12th, we will be having the consumer price index data coming out, plus we will also be having the November median estimates for retail inflation. So those two again will end up being higher most likely. The inflation numbers have not been coming out good, so that will again worsen the sentiment. So that is how I see the week pulling. I expect a positive start and then a tapering off because simply of what the reality is. As the banking sector getting extra money is really not going to help the rest of the economy as of now on the situation it is in. Then the other news which is coming out this week, which will be important, is on December 11th. The US CPI data is coming out. That will affect their markets, which will in turn affect ours. This, CPI numbers are very important, as next week the Fed will be meeting and this will affect how they take a decision next week. Again, they expected to do a rate cut, even though we have not even done one. Then followed by that, on December 12th, there are 2 important events. First, the European Central Bank will decide on its benchmark lending rate. It is expected to basically cut rates by another 25 basis points. And what is going to be the major thing to watch, actually, because this is nearly confirmed, the 25 BPS rate cut is there, is Christine Lagarde's sentiment towards the upcoming meetings. And then also this basically December 12th, the US unemployment data is coming out, which will again affect the markets because of the upcoming Fed meeting next week. So that's basically it on the news front and how I believe the news will be affecting the sentiment of the markets. Now let's hop on to the stocks. Now the first stock I'm taking a look at is Maruti Suzuki. Now Maruti Suzuki, like the rest of the auto sector, has not been having a good time because the auto sector has been plagued by an unending basically dead stock. As I think a month ago is when it came out that 70,000 crore was the total dead stock of the auto sector, with what is lying in the car yards and they're not able to sell. And if you look at most of the auto sector stocks, that is shown in their charts. That's a Maruti Suzuki. We can see it was in a box range for most of this year. Then around August it started its decline and it managed to have a huge drop from the top. Now, how do I expect Maruti Suzuki to trade? Now, according to me, as long as Maruti Suzuki is in this box range, we cannot expect any clean move to come. I say that as this box range is basically the stock making a decision on whether it wants to go up or go down. So until it breaks 10,900 on the downside or 11,540 to 11,650 on the upside, this is a stock that is going nowhere. This would be preferable for option sellers to just sell the range, sell calls above 11,650, and you can aggressive can sell puts below 10,900, cautious can sell puts below 10,600. So basically, according to me, that is the trading strategy for Maruti Suzuki. As of now, it's more favorable for option sellers. However, if Maruti Suzuki breaks the high of Friday, then it can go to the top of the box range, which is 11,650, and if by chance it breaks that, then 12,050 is next. So now, what it comes to the decision is how you want to trade it. How I will most likely trade it. If it breaks the high of Friday, I might go for a short-term trade, very short-term in the equity, for a target of 11,650, and if it breaks that, 12,050. Plus, at the same time, sell calls above 11,650 and puts below 10,900. So that way, you're earning from option sells, and then you're also earning from an equity position. Naturally, you have to have more capital to play that because you're entering options and equity at the same time. But I think that strategy should work according to me, and this will give a very small profit in equity, but it will give something. And by chance it breaks it, then it will give a bigger profit. Option selling will be an okay profit with this range. Now let's hop to Tata Motors. Now Tata Motors story has been similar to Maruti Suzuki. The whole year it has been basically box range. It had a small spurt up there, but that was sort of a new spurt up to trap. And I believe if you go through the YouTube videos and also the investing articles, you'll see I had covered Tata Motors here and I had covered it roughly here, that now people are going to get trapped and they're going to get taken down. So anyone who wants can go to those date periods in investing articles or YouTube videos, and you'll see that analysis was given and it's worked out. Now, Tata Motors has had a huge fall this year. It has fallen by roughly 40%. Now, what should be a trading strategy going ahead? Now, according to me, Tata Motors is sort of starting to show signs of improvement. What I mean by that is, if we look at it, according to me, as long as Tata Motors stays above 770 to 750, things are going to be good for it. If it manages to break 840, then it's going to break the bearish shackles in a way, and it's going to go back to neutral territory. This is above 840 is neutral territory for the stock. So what is my plan for it? Now, I already hold PE cells below 770, and now those are doing well because of what happened on Friday, especially. Even on Thursday, we held the zone, and then Friday we had a push up. Now, should you consider long or not? According to me, I will wait for it to reach 840 or to see a change in the volume build-up. This is, if you look at the volume build-up for the past week, not only for Friday, it is the bulls have come back by about 43%, but the bears are still controlling around 57% of the picture. So I want to see the bulls cross over the 50 mark, and then I'll consider an equity position in it. So I'm going to consider an equity position in Tata Motors depending on two things: either the bulls crossing 50% mark or it crossing 840. Because if it does, then 895 is next, then breaks that, then 955 is. So, as I said, option sells, I'm holding PE cells below 770, which is put cells. And equity, I'll consider it this week, depending on how I see the volume build-up change or 840 being handled. Because if the volume build-up changes, then 840 will be broken through, and I wouldn't mind buying it then even at the current price point it is at, or even a bit below it, because I will be sure that things are going to go positive. But either way, the option cells are there to make a profit until then. So now let's take a look at Kotak Mahindra Bank. Now Kotak Bank is one that has been hovering in this range from God knows when. If you take a look at it in the bigger picture, it has just been in this range for eons, literally. It tries to go up, it tries to go down, but now due to what the banking sector has been given an extra loan book technically, they can leverage more and get loan out of quite a good amount of money. Some positivity has come back into the banking sector. Now, the big question is, should you buy Kotak or not? Now, according to me, short-term traders, what Kotak is for, whether you want to do via options or whether you want to do via equity. Why I say that is, if you're trying to find that you think you're going to buy Kotak right now and then in a year it's going to double for you, you can go to the Kotak Mahindra's past and you'll see it has not been happening. It's actually been keeping everyone who's been holding it from long term at nearly zero returns. So, according to me, Kotak Mahindra, if it breaks the high of basically Thursday, then it's a long to the resistance zone at 110. If it breaks that, then 1840 opens up, and if it breaks that, then 1900 opens up. But most likely it will end up faltering at 1840, according to me, the current upswing, and then having to come back down. So there are two ways: either you can do this small equity trade, or you can do an option sell trade. Basically, option sell that as long as it stays between 1750 and 1810, things are going to be okay. Why I'm saying 1810 instead of 1840? Because if it was to rise to 1840 and then come back down, the guys who have sold actually calls will end up making more money, because of that fluctuation will spike the decay. So that will be better for them. So option sellers, I think you can sell calls below 1750 and puts calls above 1810 and puts below 1750. If you want to be aggressive, if you want to be cautious, then calls above 1840 and puts below 1700. That's how I'm looking at Kotak. I most likely will take an equity trade also into it, but that's something short term. But that will all depend on one thing. I want to see this trend catcher indicator line come back above zero. Because right now, if you see, it is trying to pop above zero, and it tried here and failed. So basically, if it takes out this high it had formed in the indicator, then I'll be sure that move is going to come up, and I will take an equity position also. But now, whether what I've discussed in Tata Motors, whether I've discussed trade in Maruti, or whether I've discussed in Kotak, on the equity front, all trades are short term. I'm not thinking about buying now and holding for the next 3 months or 2 months, even 1 month, because it's not going to be viable. It is basically quick ins and outs. It's nothing bigger than that, according to me, in terms of the whole picture. So now that's my trading plan for all the 3 stocks. If you liked the video, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And also, any stock you think that is interesting, drop it in the comment section below. If there is something worth discussing in the stock, I will cover it. If there's nothing worth discussing, then I will wait, and when it comes worth discussing, we will cover it then. So that's it. Thank you for watching.